He wants to be the very best, like no one ever was. A new video every week for Pokemon Month. He will make your brain explode with all of his useless facts. And with his trusty Pikachu, they'll kick your butt.
Pokemon, gotta watch him.
It's him and him. He makes videos by himself.
Pokemon.
Oh, he's all alone with just his Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Oh, he's pretty obsessed, but at least he's well dressed. He'll teach you about this game that he loves.
Gotta learn some stuff
about Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Pikachu. Somehow this little rodent has become one of the most recognizable video game characters of all time. Son of a gun is everywhere. Naturally, his popularity would lead this little thundermouse to have his own games. Like Hey You Pikachu, one of the most hated games ever, really. Or there's the Japanese-only Detective Pikachu. Wait a minute, they're making a movie out of this? Can we get Danny DeVito to play Pikachu, please? Now here's a game you might not be too familiar with. Pokepark, Pikachu's Adventure. I got this game back in 2010 or so when it came out. I remember playing it and actually enjoying it a bit, but I haven't gone back and played it through since that first time. Let's go see if it's any good. Alright, the game's open and let's get started. Oh, but first we gotta pick a profile picture. This one's pretty good. The game opens up with a cutscene of Pikachu and friends, being Charmander, Chikorita, and Piplup, meeting Mew. Mew opens up a wormhole because who gives a crap about physics, and we get knocked in. Thanks guys! I could have died. But no one else appears concerned as they all jump in after us. Then Mew pops up again and gives us a rundown on how everyone in Pokepark has forgotten about friendship and kindness and how we need to collect these MacGuffins, and then we actually get to play the game. Which is what I would say if there wasn't this stupid freaking chat force feeding me a tutorial. I'm actually pretty understandable of tutorials. In most games they're a necessary evil, but this is just tedious. I kid you not, the game physically stops you to tell you each individual control. There's a tutorial for the pause menu. I'm not kidding. This isn't even an optional thing. The game physically won't let you move on until you open up the menu. But once we get through the tutorial, we can actually play the game. Psych! Because now we have some plot. Pikachu meets back up with Chikorita, and together you meet Bulbasaur. He runs an attraction, which is basically a glorified minigame. It's pretty simple. You just shake the Wiimote as fast as you can to run the race. After you beat it, Bulbasaur hands you a prism piece, which is the MacGuffins I mentioned earlier. You get a prism piece from every single attraction, so the entire story is basically just built to navigate you to different minigames. Anyway, after getting the piece, you get busted by this Trico and Mankey, because apparently the boss of this zone, Venusaur, has banned movement out of the zone and no one is allowed to play attractions. And even though she did literally nothing, these guys kidnapped Chikorita, so I have to run after him. And the first one who stops you is Trico. He'll only let you pass if you can get Turtwig to beat Bulbasaur's attraction. And this brings me to the main aspect of this game, making friends. So your friends can also take on the attractions, and different Pokemon are better in each attraction. In fact, some attractions Pikachu can't even participate in, like the flying or water-based ones. And there are a number of different ways to befriend Pokemon. Some are story-based, but what you're going to be doing the most are skill games. They're basically little games you play with the Pokemon you're befriending. The most common one is Chase. Pretty self-explanatory. You dash after the Pokemon trying to ram into them. To the game's credit, it does have a lot of little details. For instance, when racing against Mawile, you can't just catch up to them and ram them from behind, because if you do that, you'll get hit by her chomping jaws. So instead of that, you have to flank her from the side. Besides Chase, you also have quizzes. Basically, if you have a rudimentary knowledge of Pokemon and/or have been paying attention to the game, you'll pass each one with flying colors. One of my absolute favorites is hide and seek, because holy crap do these Pokemon not know how to hide. Hey Psyduck? You okay there, Psyduck, buddy? Hey, Psyduck? Then you have my absolute favorite, battles. Honestly, I don't know why I enjoy this, because this game controls like absolute garbage. You want to either run into your opponent with a dash or hit them with a thunderbolt. You eventually get the ability to use Iron Tail by shaking the Wii remote, but has so little range you might as well just never use it. The problem being is Thunderbolt needs to be charged with A. That wouldn't be a problem if you moved around with a nunchuck or something, but no, you hold the controller sideways, which means if you want to use Thunderbolt, you're almost definitely going to be hit by an attack. But if you say screw it and try to use your dash, it's next to impossible to aim and dodge attacks at the same time. Just look at how much I miss this Charizard. Freaking, it's the worst. It's not even just battles. If you move without dashing in this game, you move as slow as this your Caterpie. But if you dash, stopping and turning are ridiculously hard and you just end up crashing into things. But at least despite its faults, we still have the story. So you talk to Venusaur, he has you beat up his lieutenants, and then you beat him in his attraction. And after that, he lets you leave the first zone after giving you another prison piece. Did I ever mention there are a variety of zones in this game? I mean, they're all basically what you expect. You have the first area, the Meadow Zone. Then after that, you have the Beach Zone, the Iceberg Zone, Cavern Zone, Magma Zone, Haunted Zone, and the final zone of the game, the Granite Zone. They're all connected to the Hub area, which has the creatively named Meeting Place. The Meeting Place does have some important features though. For instance, there are a number of Pokemon in the Meeting Place who will upgrade your attacks and HP in exchange for the berries you receive from befriending Pokemon and beating attractions. Anyway, the next zone is the Beach Zone. Here you find out the leader of the zone, Empoleon, decided to flake out and lock himself in his place in the Iceberg Zone. Now Feraligatr and Gyarados are feuding over who's the rightful leader, and you're not allowed to go see Empoleon until you can solve that problem. Adding to that problem is the fact that all the bridges are broken, and so you can't go over to talk to Gyarados. So, guess what annoying crap you have to do? You have to go back to the Meadow Zone and fight Bidoof. To befriend Bidoof, you have to do a fetch quest. You have to collect not one, but 4 individual pieces of lumber from boxes in the Meadow Zone. And to make things worse, when you carry things, you can't dash or anything, so you move slower than a frickin' Magikarp. Then once you do that, Bidoof goes to the Beach Zone, and you have to collect even more lumber! This isn't even the only fetch quest like this. In the Cavern Zone, you have to carry this rail from here all the way to here. And what's even worse is that in the Magma Zone you have to carry ore from this drill to this furnace. But there's a horde of Torkoal in the way who will rapid spin if you get near. They just won't leave you alone and you have to do that twice! Twice! So that's the game in a nutshell. You travel from zone to zone solving their problems. Iceberg Zone you have to get Empoleon to stop being a beehole. Cavern Zone's minecart's broken. Blaziken's planning to take over the entire Pokepark in the Magma Zone. The Haunted Zone's leader, Rotom, is missing, and in the Granite Zone, that's just the last hurdle on your way to reunite with Mew. Along the way, you participate in the skill games and you beat the attractions. It was in the Haunted Zone, however, that I noticed something. The attractions start repeating! There are only 14 of these minigames, and like half of them are repeats. Bulbasaur's race repeats twice, one of which doesn't even attempt to make it a different game. You just have to shake the Wii remote harder. Venusaur's game repeats with the tedium that's a race instead of just getting a high distance. And Pelipper's game repeats, giving you the option to hit targets with an attack instead of flying through hoops. They couldn't even bother to come up with 14 original mini-games. Look at the Pokemon Stadium games. They aren't even about mini-games, they just have them thrown in for extras, and they had 9 and 12 unique games respectively. This game is all about the mini-games and couldn't even come up with over 7! Anyway, I've finally gotten all the prison pieces and I've made it to the end of the game. It's time to meet up with Mew. And like the whole game, before you can finish the game, you have to take on Mew in a skill game. But as the last boss, you actually have 2 games you have to beat him in. First, you have to play him in an obstacle hop. This is the only skill game I didn't mention earlier because I wanted to save it till now, just to show you how frustrating it is. The basic idea is you have to platform your way up to the Pokemon. You encounter these a grand total of 4 times in the game. The one with Mew, however, is the last and the hardest. But it isn't hard from a challenge standpoint. It's hard because these controls are freaking impossible. It's hard to explain, but naturally you have to jump with some momentum so you can get over the gaps. But lining up the jumps is super annoying, and unless you dash, you probably won't have the momentum to make the jump. But if you do dash, you're going to go too fast and you're just going to fall off the edge. Just look at how many times I messed up on this one attempt. freaking insane! I've tried this like 5 times just to get through it. But once you finally make it through that nonsense, you get to have an actual match with Mew in the form of a Pokemon battle. 3 Pokemon battles actually. All of them have Mew taking on the form of a different powerful Pokemon. You fight a Magmortar, a Garchomp, and a Tyranitar. And honestly, he gave me a fair amount of trouble. But once you beat Mew, the Prism pieces repair themselves into the Sky Prism and Pokepark is saved, and finally, the credits roll. You know, overall, despite this game's faults, I actually kind of enjoyed it. I mean, it's not the worst game I've ever played. I can fault it on its sloppy controls, boring minigames, and other tedious, annoying gameplay elements. This definitely isn't a terrible game, but it definitely could use a lot of refinement in the gameplay aspect. But you know what? I still have no real Pokemon games. You can go, the video's over now. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the very last episode of Pokemonth 2K17. I had a lot of fun with it, and I hope to be back next year. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and naturally, I would love it if you would like and share and favorite and just show this off to people you think would enjoy it. And if you're still in the mood to hear my stupid voice, you can check out my other videos. In the last Pokemonth video, I talked about my top 10 Alolan forms. That was really fun, kind of. Or if you're done with Pokemonth, then might I suggest the Star Wars Force Unleashed review I did a while back. That was a pretty fun video too. Anyway, I'm gonna go play something that isn't Pokemon, because I've played a lot of it this month. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!